think we're live. Let's find out. Give it a second. Okay. Let's get our levels better here. So we're doing Friday instead of Saturday because it's a holiday. Kind of. Yesterday was 4th of July, so today's kind of a holiday. And I have spare time, and the building's nice and quiet, so it's a good opportunity. So I don't know what the viewership will be like on a Friday as opposed to a Saturday morning, but we'll see. Either way, I have work to do, so if people join, they join. If not, oh well. So today we're looking at this lovely Mamiya Sekor C 80mm macro, and it's in excellent condition. All original paint, almost no wear on the mount. I see very minor signs of a spanner wrench being used, so it implies that this lens has been taken apart at one point or another, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. So, let me just check in. Okay. All right, just oh my gosh, this is not working. All right, maybe that did work. We'll see. Welcome back, Certain Exposures. Ethan. Hello, Ethan. Yes, the mod stream is back, hopefully on a regular basis. I've been reading up on lens repair in my spare time. Nice. That's a very broad topic to read up on. You know, it could be still lenses. I focus primarily on cine lenses for repairs, but I mod still lenses. Obviously, you can't Cine-Mod a cine lens. What's my favorite lens look? Ooh, that's difficult. I would say that depends on the look I'm going for at any given time. If I'm doing clean, accurate product photography for the website, or testing lenses in a very clinical environment, I want really clean, accurate lenses. If I'm shooting snapshots of my daughters running around or Disneyland or something like that, I want something a little more dramatic. I will clarify, I've said this many times on the stream, I am not a cinematographer. I've worked with cinematographers my entire life. I understand the craft, obviously. I respect the craft, but I don't claim to be a cinematographer. I have too much respect for cinematographers to even consider claiming that title. What cinematographers do with light and shadow is just mind-boggling at times. Okay. So anyways, what we're doing for this lens, it is going to get a focus gear, a front ring, a cap, and a Duclos PL mount conversion. Okay. For some reason, my monitor stream isn't live. It's really jarring. To be more specific, I'm reading up on copal shutters in Mamiya RB67 Sekor C lenses. I need to repair a cobalt 3 with sticky aperture blades. That is tricky. The shutter drag is tricky. Oh, hey Frank. I specifically avoid the 6.7, the RB lenses because they're not great for cinema. But I get that they're very popular. So this is I actually think the glass might be, I should look into it. The glass might be similar, but the 645 mount Sekor lenses are just, they're so much simpler, they're so much lighter, more basic assembly, and they just work so much better for motion picture work because of all that. So I gotta get all this. This is, I thought this had been disassembled because of the wear marks on that lock ring, but this looks original. All these glue residues and the fact that the glue just snapped away like that. I don't believe that this mount has ever been taken off of this lens, which is nice. I like to see that. I've been thinking about buying a Mamiya, but haven't pulled the trigger yet. Oh, they're great. Ethan, you just be extra careful when you're shopping around because everybody's hunting for them now. So it's really hard to get to get a good copy. Oh, that one stays in there. That's fine. I'm curious about Mamiya Sekors as well. Matthew, what are your favorite Sekors for putting together a set? Well, like I said, the 645. As far as the focal lengths, it kind of depends on the format you're shooting. If you're shooting full frame, you can't really consider the 24 millimeter normal because it's a fisheye. So the Sekors really start at 35 for a practical lens. So starting at 35, it really depends on your style. 35, 45, 55. The 80 is a must. It's an absolute must in everyone's kit. And not this 80. This is the 80 macro. The 80 f1.9 is one of the most popular lenses we see coming through for Cine-Mod and service. These are loaded with glue. Holy cow. I don't have any cups. Where's all my cups? I'm shooting still photography with 4x5 in medium format, so probably, yeah. I wouldn't say you're the odd man out. I would say you're the unique scenario. What's up? You need something?
My craft isn't working.
Oh, I'll have to help you later. You still have your book?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's my daughter. One of my daughters. That's my younger daughter, Maddie. Director Z, what would be a great starter lens set for a filmmaker today? Not someone who's, okay. Starter lens set, I would say something, if you want something really powerful that isn't going to completely break your bank, there's two routes. You either find something cheap used, especially in the current market, there's a lot of inventory of used lenses. Good used lenses. If you want something that isn't used, the Nisi Athena primes are an amazing value for the money. Nisi Athena or the DZO film Vespid primes are very hard to beat as far as price to performance goes. I suspect all three of these are going to be loaded with Loctite or thread locker. Oh, you specified mid-level. Yeah, even mid-level to even, professional production. I think the Vespid primes from Dizio or the Athena primes from Nisi, both those sets are more than capable of producing even the highest quality images. The negative mark against them is their name. A lot of people on a larger set just won't tolerate anything that doesn't have a proven name. They can't risk that that liability. So a lot of large productions rely on names that have established a reputation, like Zeiss, Cook, Ingenue, you name it, Panavision. But if you're doing your own productions or mid-level and you don't have to worry about the producer factor, then yeah, those sets that I mentioned are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, this definitely has some thread locker that has seeped in. It is pretty stuck. I don't remember if this takes out the element or the group. It is a group, okay. Great. Oh no! I'm out of Kim wipes. Dead box. Any vintage set I can get modded, rehoused, retuned. Vintage sets, that's the problem with vintage. If you want it to be affordable, it won't be. Vintage lenses inherently are going to be more expensive. Honestly, the Mamiyas are great. The one that I'm doing now, the Mamiya Sekor C 645 mount. Leica R's are very popular. Zeiss Contacts are very popular. Those are all still lenses that are modded or can be modded to motion picture work. There it goes. Yeah, see all this residue? It gets, from those other screws, it gets stuck in there. It seeps down and then it ends up binding these pieces together, which is really annoying. Have you ever had trouble getting lens elements back into a housing? So what's the secret to getting back? Yes and no. I'd say anytime I have an issue getting an element back into a housing, it's because we had to reapply the edge paint, and the edge paint is now thicker than it was before. That's really the only reason you should have issues. Anything other than that, you've got other problems. Alright, so my ball bearing came out, but my spring has to still be in there. There it is. Wrong chemical. that residue's pretty nasty, so let's switch it up. That's better, much better. So that residue can be a problem. Generally speaking, when they assemble the lens the first time, it all settles in place and you don't have to worry about tolerance buildup or stacking and changing your flange distance. But when you take it apart and then you put it back together, the chances of it lining up the way it were when it was first assembled are not great. So that's why we have to clean off that residue. Otherwise, it will change our flange distance, almost certainly. Yeah, and this has zero, almost no lubrication. So we'll fix that. Okay. If I stripped a screw head on a screw with Loctite, what are some good solutions to get the screw out? If you Google it, you'll get a ton of garbage answers like soldering iron trick, the rubber band trick. They're all useless, absolutely useless. Maybe the soldering iron trick works in very, very specific scenarios, but no matter what, I guarantee everyone that's tried the soldering iron trick has gone in, heated it up, then realized it did nothing, and then gone back and done it for another 10 minutes or something. Honestly, I hate to say it, and it sounds kind of cagey, but technique. There's no substitute for technique. Being able to feel the screw and knowing where it's gripping and where it's about to slip, you can't substitute that experience. There's different types of stripped screws. There's, usually it's a Phillips head, and it's just gone, just completely gone. In that case, it requires either, I forget what it's called. There's an electromagnetic process they use to essentially zap the screw out. It's very expensive. We don't actually do it here. There's a company nearby that does it, specialty. There's a couple other tricks. If it's a screw head that you can, drill off the head and then remove the part, and there's still meat, threads left, then you can grab them with pliers. It completely depends on the scenario. There's no one trick. I ran into that issue with a Nikon lens I took apart for practice. The rear element refused to go back in place. Major L. If that's the case and you didn't change anything, you really shouldn't have had that problem. Something must have changed. Keep this off my mat. Oh, I didn't even check. Is my autofocus still working well? For any of you regulars, you'll know I've always avoided using the autofocus on this bench camera because it was noisy and it would hunt constantly. You'd go back and forth. It never really picked a subject. But last weekend we tweaked some settings and I turned it back on. Turned the autofocus back on, that is. And I think it's working okay. So when I do something like that, it should focus, and then it should go back to the bench. There you go. I'm not unhappy with that result. It's definitely doing less hunting. And the problem with the hunting wasn't so much that it was hunting for focus, it was just the motor was so loud, you would just hear it with neat, 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 neat constantly. It's not a very... this top-down camera is a Sony A7 with a not super sophisticated Rokinon lens. It was really just what I had lying around at the time. I don't think anything rides on this surface, but let's give it a little, just to be safe. Ah, I had that backwards. Oh, that's why. Shoot, okay. Speaking of AF, I've been wondering how focus pullers for film got that good. Experience. Ask any operator. It becomes second nature. It becomes an extension of your eye. And that's why a lot of operators don't like messing with new lenses. You get really good pulling focus on a lens, or a set of lenses that you're familiar with, and it's second nature. Then you throw in a new lens, and that disrupts everything. So one of my Fuji cameras, I have an X Pro 2, which is the previous generation, and it's had the same fully manual Zhangyi 35mm lens on it for, I don't know, how long has the X Pro 2 been out? 4 years, 5 years, something like that, maybe even more. And I refuse to change that lens, even though it's not a very good lens, because I'm so familiar with it. I can grab that ring, that focus ring, and it's just second nature. I just know what I need to do. I know how much I need to turn the lens barrel to achieve the focus that I want. I don't have to think about it. I do very little hunting with that manual focus lens. I would assume it's very similar for old school focus pullers. You just get used to it. It becomes second nature. It becomes a reflex or an instinct. I really don't want to overload this ring So I'm going to give it a very, very light, because if I put too much, that'll spread too easily down into the mechanics of the iris. Not necessarily the blades, but I completely forgot that our phones are still on. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So then that has to go there. That feels great. Very happy with that. Perfect. Okay, and make sure we still have iris function. What are we at? That's wide open. There's 22. Yep, perfect. Mamiyas can cover larger than an open gate LF sensor, correct? Yes, much larger. These Mamiyas, I won't say across the board, these Mamiyas in particular will cover 645, which is significantly larger than large format. That's kind of points out the whole oversight in naming the LF large format when these are designed for medium format. Medium format being larger than large format, but whatever. It's different industries, or I shouldn't say different intended platforms, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So hopefully this guy goes back in, no issues. Is that the correct? Yeah, it is. We should still have our detent there. I don't think I need to lubricate that. I think that's fine. We'll find out. If it feels bad when I put this all back together, then we'll know for sure. How do you make sure D-click lenses still click at a set stop? Well, they don't. That's the point. It's D-clicked. When we D-click a lens, we're removing the function that creates the clicks. Are you asking if it's still accurate to that f-stop when it's set to a specific number? Oh, that feels great. Buttery smooth. Honestly, there's no way for you guys to feel how the lens is performing, but you can hear. If you don't hear anything, it means it's nice. If you hear like scratching and metal on metal, it's not great. So I'll give you a quick little. It's beautiful. It's nice and fluid. It's nice and. I hate that so many people use the term, but it's creamy. It's really consistent. Dustin, hello Dustin. You mentioned a difference in your Mamiya recommendations based on format size. Considering the circles will cover no matter what, wouldn't it make sense to just get the best for large format? Yes and no. I wouldn't hesitate. Well, yes, actually, you're absolutely right, Dustin, because you can't really go wider. My point was merely, if I knew that I was limited to Super 35, I probably wouldn't go with the Mamiyas at all, or I would use the Mamiyas and then substitute in something wider, like maybe Zeiss contacts, Pentax, something like that. Because you can't get wide enough. Like, considering the 35mm is the widest normal lens for the Sekor line, personally, I would think that that's not wide enough to achieve most shots. Or sorry, it's not wide enough to cover your butt when you're shooting Super 35. You really want that 24, 25, maybe even 18. Alright, so this still has a lot of that glue residue. Actually, let's try our fancy new autofocus. There you go. So all of this right here, that's just leftover thread locker. My chemical bottle is starting to break down. I can feel it. It's a nice, there's supposed to be like a nice flexible plastic material, but it's had chemicals in it for, I don't know, 20 years. It's starting to fail. I could feel a crack right where I place my thumb to squeeze the bottle. There, look at the difference there. Nice and clean. No residue whatsoever. Oh my gosh, yeah, look at that. It's all cracking. Oh, that's terrible. I don't know if that'll show on camera. Right there. It's right where my thumb goes. And it's all... One of these days I'm just going to punch right through it and the whole thing is going to fall apart. But yeah, this bottle's probably about 20 years old. This one's much newer. This one I replaced because the old one did break. The stem broke. Or nozzle, whatever you want to call it. So this one might be on its last leg. It might be time to upgrade. Or at least replace it. I don't know if there's any newer version. So. I learned that the hard way that some developing chemistry leads through, but it shouldn't. I mean, it's meant to hold this specific chemical. Like that's the exact purpose of this bottle. So it's supposed to be chemical resistant. I think it's just age. You know, over time it dries up, it gets brittle. Okay. Nice. Oh, there. You can't really see. I need to... How's that? There you go. Not my favorite aperture shape, that pentagon. But this lens is definitely not used for bokeh. It's not known for its bokeh because it's a macro. It's an f4, so it's got a super long extension. Then you have the mag spacer, which is sort of your additional macro. Oops, there it goes. Yeah. So there's your magnification 2, 1.7, 1.5, 1.25. There it is. 1.1 or 1 to 1. Sorry. Oh, 1.1. I was right. And then 1 to 1. Actually, that is magnification, not a ratio. So it's 1.1 magnification. I'm not sure what the N stands for. I want to assume it stands for near, but I'm not positive. I've been doing a ton of maths on macro and magnification because I've been trying to build a web tool to calculate the close focus range when you're using a macro extension tube. So it's all fresh in my head right now. Have you ever made your own lens? Ha, Ethan. Yes and no. I've done it for funsies. I've never made anything in any sort of commercial capacity. We're way too busy repairing existing lenses. From a hobby perspective, yeah, I love tinkering with that. My earliest one goes back to maybe when I was like 18 or 19, just scrapping together parts, flipping through Edmund optics. As far as a commercial prospect, no, I will probably never do that. I don't think there's anything that I could do that the current lens manufacturers couldn't do. Yeah, so this looks like it was disassembled at some point. So I didn't use a spanner in this, I just used my hand, but you could see those spanner marks maybe. I don't think this will focus close enough. So you have the 2 spanner holes. There's one right there. And there's a little, which way is it going? There's a trailing mark that goes that way on that one and that way on this one, which is a clear sign that somebody used a spanner and slipped. So this was definitely taken apart for one reason or another. I assume it was, maybe it has some moisture or some haze or something, but it looks good now. And then this, I believe this is usually painted. It has like a nice thick layer of paint, so somebody cleaned all that paint off. So it's not bad by any means. It's just a sign of old maintenance. And I shouldn't criticize them. Yes, maybe their spanner slipped, but every technician slips once in a while. And there's a tiny bit, again, I don't think this is going to focus close enough. There's the ever so slightest bit of wear pattern on the iris blades. Yeah, that's not going to focus close enough. Oh, maybe it does. Yeah, I can't get the light in there, that's the problem. But it's just a little bit of wear and tear. Considering this lens is from this model is probably from the 90s. It's in great shape. It needs a cleaning. Where's my... So I should use a spanner to put this back together so it's nice and snug. It's one thing to remove an element with your hand, it's another to tighten it by hand. How do you feel about the new RLs compared to other 1.4/1.5 options? My chat keeps getting covered by this little icon. How do I get rid of this? I can't read the rest of it. Maybe older. Sigma, for example. Ooh, good question. Optically, I think the easiest comparison is Sigma and Tokina primes. Both of those will still perform marginally better than the RLs. But as far as price to performance goes, the RLs is a far more affordable option. The other big question mark that I have, and this isn't a negative mark, it's just an unknown. The RLs are brand new. We don't know how well they'll hold up over time. Sigma and Tokina have proven themselves really, really well. They've been used on major productions all over the world. With little to no issues. Sorry, let me move my windows around here. So as far as reliability goes, that is a big factor, especially on larger productions. And DZO and RLs, there's just not enough time to know yet. We can assume that they're going to be good based on the Vespid lenses. Those have been very reliable, very good. But I don't want to assume. I want to see the RLs out in production in the rigors of an actual shooting environment. And then I'll be able to tell how well they hold up. Because we absolutely know, because we're a service facility. So every set of RLs that we sell, if there's an issue, it comes straight back to us. Even lenses that we don't sell, because we're the authorized service facility for DZO, we see it all. Nice. Let's give that a quick clean. The RL's primes are DZO's latest T14 high-speed primes. And they're giving a lot of other bigger lenses a run for their money. Actually, I really should be better about pumping up my actual company. There we go. There's the RL's primes. So that's the big upset, is that you can get the 5-lens set for the price of like one Zeiss Supreme Prime, and they're still faster. Granted, T14 is not really a significant difference from T15, but you know, if it's a numbers game you're looking for, then those win. I will say, for anyone that's considering the RLs, there are other ultra high-speed lenses coming. I can't really say more, who they're coming from or what they are, what the speed is, but there will be other ultra high-speed options very soon. I don't know if I can even call it ultra high-speed. Ultra high-speed would be like T1. Like, here, let's do some quick shopping. What I would consider ultra high speed, where are they? I don't even know if they're on my website anymore. Sorry, I had to sneeze and I wanted to mute it before I sneezed. Let's see. Here we go. This is what I would consider ultra high speed. It's a 50mm full frame T1. Oh, I shouldn't have put those screws back in. This is getting the PO. I got a new Voigtlander lens for a low price used. What was crazy spherical aberration? Yep. I assume the reason why it was so cheap is that something could be fixed. That depends. The term crazy spherical aberration is somewhat subjective. I also assume you're referring to the Voigtlander Noctons, the T or the F0.95. Is that correct? The new 2815 looks like an uncoated Schneider zoom. That's hard to say. If you want, you can drop me some photos, some samples of what you're referring to when you say crazy spherical aberration. It shouldn't be, if you're wide open, it shouldn't look like a soft effects or soft focus lens. But I'm not super experienced with that particular lens. I see the Nocton series much more than I do their newer, I can't call them mirrorless, like their full frame stuff. The Noctons being the Micro Four Thirds series. Uh-oh. Is that the correct screw? Oh yeah, okay. That scared me for a second. Those tolerances are really tight because those screws barely fit through the hole. I don't know why I would have designed it that way. Actually, this one might not be one of my designs. I'll probably also do a couple minutes of lens hunting on the stream. I have another Zeiss here that I was going to take the mount off of, but I think I'd rather do some lens hunting and have you guys join for that journey. All right, got our fixed PL mount. Beautiful. Where's my camera? You're going too far. Focus. There it goes. Very nice. Stainless steel, the only material a PL mount should be made out of. Oh, we could just do this. Oh, I broke away. I don't even need to do that. That's silly. Just put the gear. Oh, well, I need the gear. There's almost no stray Delrin in here. This gear was cut by one of our techs, Nate, and he did a great job. It's beautiful. Yeah, practically nothing for me to clean up. Nicely done, Nate. That's great. Focus still feels beautiful, nice and smooth, consistent. Lily asked why I come home and look at lenses after spending all day thinking about it. Frank, you'll be glad to know I think I made progress on adding like there's like the merch shelf on YouTube, and I think I got it sorted out, but it still has to go through like a review process on YouTube or through Google. Actually, I guess in the meantime, well, there's only 8 people watching right now, so get your merch at ducloslenses.com. You know what? I didn't think about. Is that still gonna function? Oh yeah. Okay. It doesn't retract externally. The glass inside is moving. I actually don't even know if that's working correctly. I didn't check that at all. Guess I should have. Well, we'll find out. Pretty sure this whole group is supposed to go back and forth with that mag spacer, but we'll see. All right. That guy's done. That is a complete Cine-Mod with PL conversion. This lens is good to shoot any feature film now on practically any camera, even specifically the new Blackmagic. Oh gosh, what is it? 17K? I can't remember now. Anyways, they're a medium format camera. So leave that there. Let's see if I can't figure out I forget how I had done my screen sharing here. Why isn't this working? Oh, here we go. Nope. Oh, I guess this will work. Let's try it. Ready? There we go. All right. Let's do some lens hunting here. That's what I need. So, all right, we're gonna do some lessons here. First things first, EXC plus whatever, don't believe it, ever, 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 never, ever. All right, so first of all, I forgot, I'm looking for the CN. These are all, see that chrome nose, or the chrome tip, edge, whatever. That's the non-N version. There's an N right there. You can tell right away because it's got the revised plastic or revised rubber grip, and it's all plastic, or at least this portion is plastic. So, and it's obviously higher price, $649. That's way higher than they used to be. Holy cow. Back when I started hunting Mamiyas, these a CN like this one was maybe $200. No fog. See, that is the key. This might actually be worth $650 if there is in fact no fog in that rear group. So the 80mm f1.9N model has a notorious habit of forming this haze in the rear. I've had probably half a dozen, and they all had haze except for one, and that one, long story short, I don't have anymore. Near mint, $550. There we go, $479. So the fact that this one's getting lower, it probably has that haze in the rear group. And it's not going to show in these photos. You really have to know what you're looking for. There it is. Actually, it does show clear as day. See that haze? That's terrible. So let's see if their description even notes it. Yeah, see? Excellent plus. No, that's absolute BS. Tiny scuffs, no. Optics, beautiful condition. There is a haze on the rail. Okay, so they're being honest. They're acknowledging it. Great. I appreciate that. But I don't want that lens. I want one without haze. That's the wrong oh no. Sekor C Pro TL. No, that's Eric. What is that? That white front is not normal. What? Is it just a piece of tape? What is that? Oh yeah, it looks like a tape. Okay, that's not so bad. But it is, you can tell it is kind of beat up on the edges there. It's been abused. They got the aperture closed, so there's no way. Okay, see all this wear and tear on the mount flange? That's a lot of use. Oh, there it is. That's severe haze in the rear. So that's a definite no. Yeah, look at that. That's really bad. There we go. Oh, $755. Ouch. But it's mint. It looks really good. Looks very good. Can't see the rear group, but that's not bad. Robert's camera. I feel like I've bought stuff from them before. Yeah, there's nothing specific about this lens. So that's a very high price. Oh, in box. What? $1,000? Looks like a nice clean rear group. Oh, that is tempting. That's very tempting. This might require a text message to, and she's online. So basically I'd have to run this through accounting department. And it's in Japan. All the good ones are from Japan. Michelle's not responding. Michelle's the one that gives me the thumbs up or thumbs down. Michelle's sitting in her office. You know. But she's not here right now. She's at... nobody's here right now but me. And my children. But holy cow, this lens is It's practically unused. I see a couple marks. So it has been used. It hasn't just been sitting in a box its whole life. But the fact that it comes with the manual, the original, well, that's not the original filter. Actually, all three of these bits are aftermarket. But still, oh man, if you could see, they're not going to show it, but if the serial number on the box matched the lens, that would be amazing. Maybe that is the original sunshade. Oh, no, I can't see it. Mike, you're absolutely right. I do get stuff quicker from Japan than I do from, like, Chicago. I don't know why. I'm gonna bug her. Michelle. Answer me. I'll text her. All right, let's see what she says. Have you ever worked on a used Leica R21 to 35 wide zoom? If so, how comparable is it at the corresponding f-stops compared to their primes brethren? Well, first thing I'll say, Renee, I've never liked that particular zoom. I'm pretty sure that's the one that telescopes. Let's do... Yeah, so the problem with this lens, I think, if it's the right one, so the filter threads, maybe I'm thinking of a different one. I can't remember it. There's one of these wide zooms from in the Leica R series where the threads are inside, like there's two sets of threads. You've got the threads on the bayonet, then you got the other set of threads on the lens. This might be the one. So you have to like stack extensions to get a new front ring on there. That aside, that's a whole separate discussion. Oh, she is. She's responding. Optically though, image quality wise, yeah, they compare. If you take, for example, a 35 Summicron and set it to f4, it's going to be pretty similar. You might see a little more geometric distortion in the zoom, in the Varia Elmar, compared to the prime, but overall, I would not hesitate to intercut those at all. Oh my god. Michelle just approved. We are good to go. Where'd it go? I lost it. There it is. Is the 35 Sekor C the widest option? Technically, yes. The 35 is the widest normal lens. Then there's a 24 fisheye, which nobody likes. It's not a good option. Frank's happy. Well, so here's the question. Do I get the $1,000 one? Or do I risk it and go with... Oh, shoot, I lost it. Where was the other one that clearly said it didn't have haze in the rear? I should have kept that window open. Was it this one? No, this is the one that's terrible. Never, never, never. This one's half the price, and it's probably fine. Nope, that's got the haze. The typical haze, I think. Yeah, that looks kind of hazy. So I don't think that was it. Where did it go? There was one seller. Was it this one? This one is... It says from Japan. Are they in Japan? Where's the seller location? Located in Kyoto. Okay. There is no fog. There is no fungus. Okay. So... Yeah, that looks clean. That looks really clean. Also, for a seller to say no fog, clean, whatever, and I'm looking at these screws, those screws have never been touched, period. Which means it wasn't a case of like it had fog and then someone cleaned it out and now it's fine. This lens looks good. I think this is the best option. I don't think the box is worth it because it's just going to sit on my shelf. And this body is all in great condition. I think this is the winner. Okay. I never buy it on... I don't want you guys seeing my my credentials, but I'm gonna grab that. Okay. Porque no los dos. Yes, I can read Spanish, Frank. Thank you. Oh, this might not work. eBay just... I forgot about this. eBay announced that they weren't going to be accepting Amex anymore. Well, let's see what happens. Okay. Should say sold. This item is out of stock. Oh, that's because I bought it. All right. That'll do. So when that lens comes in, we'll do another mod stream and we'll review. I won't even touch it. I'll do a live unboxing and you guys can see the whole process of me inspecting it and everything. So, all right. This Mamiya, the other 80mm macro, done. Ready for inventory. And that's gonna do it for me. Where's my timer? Where are we? About an hour and a half. Perfect. So, okay. We'll see you all next Saturday. Thank you for joining.